Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to go over the corrections for the CQA. If you're watching this when I made it, you took the CQA Thursday, it's now Friday. I'm a drill, and you've got your scores back. Many of you got them back instantly, or if you took it on paper, I graded it before I left Thursday, and now you want to make some corrections to your CQA. We've done this twice before with the same process, but in case you have forgotten how, I wanted to create this video to demonstrate what you need to do so that you can maximize your improved score. So the first thing you will need to do is, in our Google Classroom, open this document as an example, or you can pick up a paper copy of it from the front of the room. In fact, I would recommend picking up a paper copy of it from the front of the room. It's titled CQA 3 Corrections. Make sure you put your name on it here. And it's helpful if you have your CQA score here, but it is not required. Now, this is super important. Instructions must be followed precisely to receive credit for corrections. If you do not follow these instructions, and many of you can attest to this or confirm this, you will get reduced or no points at all. Each question on the CQA was worth 3 to 4% of your total grade. Each properly completed correction will earn you 2 to 2.6% back. That is 2/3 of your possible points will come back. Incomplete corrections may earn between 0 and 1.3% back. So we're talking here, if you had a D and you do all the corrections correctly, say you lost 40 points, you earn 2/3 of those back, you're looking at a B on your CQA. So that's pretty significant. It can make a big difference. So make sure you follow these instructions. Here's what has to happen. 1. Each correction must be handwritten on this or a separate sheet of paper. So if you want to put the corrections on the back of this paper, you can, or your own line paper. Each correction must have the complete question written down with the correct answer. Don't go through and just write false, true, B, and then tell me like James Madison, because that is what went in the blank. You have to write down the entire complete thought. You have to read it, think about it, and write it down. You are going to interact with the material on Show Me by putting it on your paper. Let's look through an example question. So first off, multiple choice question here. What state were the Cherokee moved to during the Trail of Tears? In the example, I've clicked Minnesota. That is the wrong answer. I need to find out what the right answer is. Even if you think you know what the right answer is, you can't just put down the right answer. You have to prove to me that you have sought the answer out and found it. So there are 2 ways to seek out the answer. You can use your notes or the online textbook. We're going to do both in this demonstration. So let's say I have my topic 6 notes open. That's where the Trail of Tears would be. So I'm going to look through my title card here and see which one talks about Native Americans or the Trail of Tears. Jackson wins the presidency, political conflict and economic crisis, Native Americans and the frontier, westward movement, settling Oregon country, independence for Texas, manifest destiny in the Southwest. Sounds like Native Americans and the frontier is going to be the closest one. Click on it, click again, and it takes me there. So I'm looking for information about the Cherokee and the Trail of Tears. Looking over Native Americans and the frontier. Don't see anything here about the Trail of Tears or the Cherokees, so I'm going to continue on. Indian Removal Act. Oh, here we go. Something about the Cherokee are going to be forced out. I see many groups sold land and moved to what is now Oklahoma and Kansas. Okay, so I found on my Indian Removal Act slide the Trail of Tears, or they were moved to Oklahoma. There's a map here. I can follow the Trail of Tears. If you know your geography, you know that that little chunk of land above Texas is now called Oklahoma. Also here on the Trail of Tears, Indian Removal Part 1. I see again, over the 1830s, many groups began moving towards Oklahoma, and this is specifically talking about the Cherokees here. So I found 2 slides that would work. So back on my form, I can write this correction. During the Trail of Tears, the Cherokee were moved to Oklahoma. I found this on the note slide, Trail of Tears / Indian Removal Part 1. Now notice there's also a way to do it with the textbook. So let's look at the textbook. Let's say I didn't take notes. I don't like going through the notes. I want to use the textbook. Okay, great, we can do that. So let's look at the online textbook. And this works the same way if you have the paper textbook. You just have to use the table of contents and flip to a page number. So I've logged in through PowerSchool to Pearson Realize. I'm clicking on the Liberty Bell, my American history textbook. And I need to choose the topics we've been studying now. It's 5 or 6, and it's about westward expansion, so I know that it's topic 6. I'm going to click on it. Now I'm looking through my lessons, trying to find one about Native Americans. The titles are exactly the same as they were on that slide deck we just went through. So I'm clicking on Native Americans and the Frontier. Now in this menu, I need to look for readings perhaps about the Trail of Tears. Oh look, Southern Native Americans on the Trail of Tears. I'm going to click on that and see if I can find anything about the Cherokee going to the Indian Territory. Alright, faced with threats of military action, most Native American leaders in the South saw no choice but to sign new treaties giving up their lands. They agreed to move to what was called the Indian Territory. Today, most of that area is in the state of Oklahoma. So you pretty quickly find by looking through here. Here's a section on the Cherokee on slide 3 and how they ended up having to go on the Trail of Tears. So you're going to have to do some more reading probably with the using the textbook, but Oklahoma comes up again and again on this. So back to the example on the sheet. I can put during the Trail of Tears, I found the Cherokee were moved to Oklahoma. I found this in topic 6, lesson 3, Southern Native Americans on the Trail of Tears. And that way I have written out the whole statement, whether it's a true, false, fill in the blank, check all that apply, or multiple choice. I'm writing out a complete thought and then defending it with one of these 2 proofs. You do not have to have both. Alright, I was going to ask you if there are any questions. If there are questions, you can email me or comment and I will reply. But I hope this is useful for you and I hope you are able to improve your scores. Thanks.